Hey guys, welcome back. So glad you're here. So today we're talking about your why. What's your why? Why do you continue to teach? Why do you keep coming back? Reminding yourself of your why will continue to keep you motivated, to keep you standing up for your students and what's best for them. So today, we're going to talk about that, and I will share my why. Now, before you forget and leave, I would love it if you even just pause this episode, go and leave a review in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you are listening to this podcast. I would love your feedback and help me boost those ratings. That would be awesome. And also hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. One more excitement is I now have a free newsletter that I love, and I would love to be able to share it with you. So check that the bit.ly link in the show notes and start getting some great more tips and info to increase your behavior knowledge today. Hi guys, welcome to Behavior Strategies for Class, your podcast all about behavior strategies to help you in the classroom. Do you need more support and encouragement for your challenging students? Do you want proven behavior strategies that will help create resilient students? How will behavior strategies influence your class? You will make a difference in their lives and prepare them for success as a well-rounded person. And I'm here to help. I'm Diane Bachman, a behavior paraprofessional with over 10 years experience in special education, working with students from various backgrounds and disabilities, and I want to offer you hope. You will be a constant, caring adult in your students' lives, and building relationships with them will be essential to achievement and triumph, not only for them, but also for you. So we'll be discussing about trauma-informed care, social-emotional intelligence, sensory breaks, why are they important, PBIS, behavior interventions, MTSS, social skills, evidence-based strategies, and more. So listen in, and I have to say, Rita Pierson is one of my idols in her fight for students. And if you have not listened to her TED Talk on Every Child Needs a Champion, I encourage you to go do that today, because I want us to be our students' champion, because we were born to make a difference. Let's listen in to today's episode. Okay, so today we're talking about your why. And I want to share a little bit more about my why. Now, in my previous episodes, and I'm sorry I do not have the number, but it's near the beginning, I talked about when I first started working at the schools was because both of my kids were in school and I was a stay-at-home mom, but once they were both in school, I started working part-time at our church, and then when they were both in school full-time, I looked at working at the schools because I wanted to still be there and be involved when they were home and their sporting thing, all that fun stuff. So that's originally why I started working in the schools and got involved in special education, and it has been lots of fun. Lots of learning, lots of fun, lots of great people that I have worked with. And so to go a little bit deeper, part of my story is that I was adopted. I was adopted when I was a baby, so I never knew my bio parents at all. My mom always told me, my biological parents loved me, they just couldn't take care of me. So thankfully, I have never grown up having that missing link, I guess, per se, because my parents were great and always loved me. And I have another sister and brother who were also adopted, and we are just family. Like, we've never felt any other way. And so not that I'm not curious. Like, I am curious, like, whatever happened to them. And of course, 30 years or so ago, they didn't have like really open adoptions. I didn't have much information. And so I just never knew who they are, where they are. And that's okay. For me, that's okay. Like, I am complete in who I am, and I know who I am, and I know that God loves me, and I have a great family that loves me and supports me. And so that's kind of the very beginning, of course, like I was a baby. But getting older, as a mom, my oldest son brought home a friend and found out that he is actually a foster kid and he needed to stay with us for a little while. And so that was my first experience with the foster system. And he was a great kid. I mean, he was a teenager, so he was also kind of a punk, but we loved having him around. And when we found out like his foster family just lived like a couple blocks away, he knew he had another place to come and hang out and get some love and attention there. But he did have some issues with his foster mom. And so unfortunately, at one point, I had to call the DHS and let them know that he was still at my house. And that was like, oh my word, the hardest thing I ever had to do. But I knew that that was the right thing to do at that time. And then down the road, he was in and out, staying with us off and on till he was 18. And then she pretty much, kicked him out. He was on his own. And then down the line, he actually found his bio mom and bio sister and actually moved and lived with them. So thankfully that worked out for him. But that was my first experience in the foster system and some of the heartache and trauma that he went through. And then we had my same son brought home another friend who needed a place to stay. And so he stayed with us. He was not a foster kid, but his dad was not in the picture. His mom was out of town. And anyways, so he ended up living with us for a while. And so this really just opened up my mind and my heart to those kids that are struggling and not having a stable family environment for them. And I think really that is definitely part of my why, in why I stand up for these students who are challenging and struggling. Because I want to say I feel I understand a little bit more. Granted, unfortunately, my husband never wanted to officially become a foster parent, and that just wasn't where God wanted us to be. So that never happened. But my heart for foster students and foster care is still very fresh in my heart and my mind. And so I love being able to step into their lives and encourage them and teach them behavior strategies so that they can cope while they're in school and also at their home when they don't know exactly what's happening at their home. And granted, other students who are not in the foster care system, they have struggles just the same. We don't know exactly what's happening at their home, and especially now during summer break, it's hard to say for some of our students. And you just hope and pray that they're doing fine and they're getting fed and they're getting cared for. And so, I am ready to go when school starts again to love on and teach these students that struggle. So that is definitely one of my whys in being able to stand up for these kids who can't stand up for themselves, who won't stand up for themselves, who don't know how to stand up for themselves. And so that's why I love being a part of our behavior program and special education and coming alongside our school counselors and school psychs and school social workers and our APs, our admins. It takes a team to help your students to be the best they can be, to grow and learn. And so as you are learning and teaching behavior strategies as well in your class, you know that you are adding another layer to help equip your students to be better prepared for learning. Because as they learn to control their emotions and their behavior, then they are ready to learn and ready to focus in on all that you have to teach them. So that's why I love teaching behavior strategies. That's why I fight for these kids. Another way that I am involved in helping foster kids and foster families is through a ministry called Care Portal. And that connects with DHS itself, where DHS works with all of these foster families. And of course, DHS has limited funds to help these families. So through Care Portal, they reach out to the church community. Thanks so much for listening. I truly appreciate you all, and I pray that I've inspired and encouraged you today. I also want to let you know that I have a couple bit.ly links for you if you're interested in making your own podcast and sharing the wealth of knowledge that you have, being a teacher or a para or a teacher's aide, anybody in the education system. I'm sure you have a lot to share. And if you're interested, I took the class with Stephanie Gass. She's amazing, super friendly, down to earth, very easy to understand, and she's great. So I have a bit.ly link for you for Podcast Pro University is where I learned how to do this. And that is bit.ly/behavior, PPU, 4, and U, as in the letter U. So Podcast Pro University, bit.ly/behavior, PPU, 4, and the letter U, if you're interested. Also, to get your free printable of all the 6 evidence-based strategies, there is another bit.ly link, and that is bit.ly/6 for free. 6 for free. These will all be in the show notes in case you need to go back and check those out. And I leave you with this: that every child deserves a champion, and that's by Rita Pearson. So I just want to encourage you that you can be that champion and that you are making a difference. Thanks again.